Asis-Carilo. It is an awesome Thursday, 19th of December. Let us make it unforgettable with a whole lot of energy, good vibes, and inspiration.
Happy Thursday, I'm Monique Tuzon, here to bring more fun to your mornings. Join us in the next hour for stories and conversations that matter. I don't know about y'all, but I cannot believe Christmas is next week. I'm not prepared.
It's not even next week. It's like less than 7 days.
6
now.
days.
Yes, 6 days.
And you know who's been preparing for Christmas? That's why he's not here. He's currently preparing for a dance number on TikTok. So he's practicing.
And I think he slept late last night wrapping our presents.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why he's not here today.
Our corporate presents.
Yeah. The Bilyonaryo freebies.
Exactly.
Like he's wrapping them again after opening them and making sure that there's no Paulo written on the mugs.
That's why he had to redo
everything.
all of them.
Yes.
So we got a girl power show today.
Yeah. And since it's HIV Awareness Month here in the Philippines, we are going to be having a doctor who will tell us more about this topic. So that's an interesting one, something to look forward to. And also later, we will be talking about this Santa Claus in Brazil. Santa Claus in Brazil?
Yes, Brazilian Santa Claus.
This Brazilian Santa Claus ditched the sleigh and preferred a different mode of transportation
I can't wait
this
to hear
holiday
about it.
season. Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about that later on. But here's some news that you can use right now. Let's start with our weather report this morning. We can still expect some rains in parts of the country today. Pag-asa says this is because of the low pressure area that was last spotted in Surigao del Norte. State forecasters say it has a chance of once again becoming a tropical depression. The LPA is bringing scattered rains in the Visayas and Mindanao. Parts of Luzon, including Metro Manila, should watch out for possible scattered and isolated rain showers, light rains due to the shear line and the northeast monsoon. Now tune in to Weather HQ later at 9 a.m. only here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Now let's talk some serious news because the House Quadcom has recommended the filing of cases of crimes against humanity against former President Rodrigo Duterte, Senators Bongo and Bato de la Rosa, 2 other former PNP chiefs, 2 police colonels, and a former staff of GO. This is in connection to the deaths of some 30,000 individuals killed during the war on drugs of the Duterte administration. These are among the recommendations by the committee submitted to the House of Representatives plenary, and Zandro Ochona has more.
This report is not merely an account of our work, Mr. Speaker. It is a solemn commitment to uncovering the truth, upholding justice, and crafting meaningful legislative solutions to address the scourges of illegal drug proliferation, unlawful land acquisition by foreigners, crimes linked to Philippine offshore gaming operators or POGOs, and extrajudicial killings.
At the last session day for this year, House Quadcom lead Chairman Robert Ace Barbers delivered their progress report at the plenary. The 43-page Quadcom report is a compilation of their findings after 13 hearings which started in August. Among its recommendations, at least 30 legislative measures, including new bills and amendments to current laws. The Quadcom also recommended filing cases against former President Rodrigo Duterte, Senators Bongo and Bato de la Rosa, former PNP chiefs Oscar Albayalde and Debold Sinas, and retired police colonels Royina Garma and Edelberto Leonardo. Former PANAS staff Hermina Muking Espino was also recommended to be included in the charges in relation to crimes against humanity.
The investigations brought to light a harrowing narrative of abuse of power and institutional impunity during the Duterte administration. Witness testimonies corroborated by evidence revealed a system that incentivized the killing of suspected drug personalities, a system modeled after the so-called Davao template and replicated nationwide.
Cases against those who are involved in the murder of retired Police General Wesley Barayuga were also recommended, as well as against personalities linked to the illegal drug trade, particularly those implicated in the seizure of the 369 kilos shabu in Mexico, Pampanga. Those involved in illegal pogos that used Filipino dummies and those who worked to illegally get foreigners Filipino citizenship should also face charges. The progress report was adopted by the plenary and has ordered the Secretary General to furnish government agencies copies for the filing of necessary cases. Zandro Ochona, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Questions have emerged on the fate of the national budget now that the executive secretary has said that this would not be signed by Friday. But for Senator Coco Pimentel, there is no cause for concern. Agatha Gregorio has Senator statements.
The possibility that the 2025 budget would not get signed within the year is no cause for alarm. That's according to Senate Minority Leader Coco Pimentel after Malacanang announced that the president will not yet sign the General Appropriations Act this Friday.
Huwag tayong magpanik sa December 31. I mean, pag mag-research tayo, how many times na nangyari sa past na dumating ang January 1, walang budget okay naman. It's better to have an acceptable budget law than to have a budget law na inaangalan ng taong bayan just for the sake of having one before December 31.
Senate President Cheese Escudero is also not alarmed, saying it is within the right of the executive branch to study the budget and veto its provisions. Escudero adds this is simply part of the legislative process. For Senate Finance Committee Chairperson Grace Poe, Bersamin's statement is just a sign of a healthy democracy. Poe also believes that the president is receiving the best advice from his economic managers amid the situation. Pimentel also mentioned the role played by the removal of PhilHealth subsidy in Malacanang's statement.
A sign na sensitive ang palasyo sa sentimento ng taong bayan, sa mga reaction. Marami kasing mga nag-react Sino nga naman ang hindi magre-react kasi sa zero budget subsidy sa PhilHealth galing sa 74.4 billion pesos na nanggaling sa executive branch. Yung figure na yun. So even the president, siguro nagugulat din yung executive branch na
President Bongbong Marcos earlier said he wants to restore the 10 billion pesos removed from the Education Department.
Kasi ang suspetsya ko baka sa infrastructure ang merong line item dito sa DPWH budget para pababain, para hindi niya lalampasan si education. Kung mas mababa yan sa education sector na total budget, ibig sabihin compliant tayo sa Constitution where it is stated that education shall enjoy the highest budgetary priority.
Pimentel is among senators who voted no to ratifying the BICAM report when it was discussed in plenary. Agatha Gregorio, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
President Bongbong Marcos thanked the Indonesian government once more now that Mary Jane Veloso is back home. Mr. Marcos also expressed gratitude for those who extended their aid to the OFW's case. The president also assured the safety and welfare of Mary Jane, who was jailed in Yogyakarta for over a decade. It was an emotional homecoming for Veloso Wednesday as she reunited with her family after all these years at the Correctional Institution for Women in Mandaluyong.
The Philippines is a win for diplomacy, for good relations between the Philippines and Indonesia. And we thank the Indonesian government and all those for finally realizing the dearest hope and prayer of Mary Jane and the Veloso family.
Colegio San Agustin Makati speaks out after actress Yasmin Kurdi claimed that her daughter experienced bullying in the school. In a statement, CSA said the issue had been blown out in the public. It adds, there appears to be no bullying that happened on December 10. The school also emphasized handling the matter with caution and confidentiality. They urged parents, especially Kurdi, to cooperate with them. CSA warns public allegations could have inadvertent consequences on the students involved. Earlier this month, Kurdi alleged that her daughter Ayesha was, quote, ganged up on for not replying to messages about their Christmas party. The actress also said her daughter was blocked from leaving their classroom and was denied food during breaks. Now, this is going to be a complicated case because now the school says that there was no bullying incident that happened on that particular day,
Yeah, but-
and the bullied student says otherwise.
Well, but then how do they determine if there's no bullying? Like for
Exactly.
me, I feel like you always believe the kids. I
Yes,
think kids
yes.
never lie. So I think there's a fine line between the school saying there's no bullying and listening to the child. 'Cause,
I know.
I mean, a kid can't make that up. I feel like, you know what I mean?
So
That's
we'll see
so
what's going to
intricate.
happen with this case. I mean, all the parents involved, the bully's parents and the bullied student, like Yasmin Kurdi, they should, talk about this matter, settle things privately, I guess. Because it gets blown out of proportion
Yeah.
when you
Post it in public,
publicize
yep.
everything. Yeah,
So
it
we'll
gets
see what happens.
sensationalized.
It's
But
interesting.
let's see.
Now that you're a resident showbiz reporter,
I know.
you can keep us.
We're gonna
up to
watch
date.
out for more details on that. Speaking of showbiz, we got more on
Yes.
entertainment.
We have something exciting because the Voice USA 2024 grand winner, Sofronio Vasquez, our kababayan, is coming home to the Philippines. Speaking on BNC's agenda, Vasquez shared he plans to visit the Philippines to personally thank Filipinos on the first week of January. Vasquez also revealed he now has a record label and is in an ongoing conversation with NBC to manage him. He said he's very thankful for the immigrant community who supported him all throughout his The Voice journey.
I think ang pinaka factor na siguro nanalo po ako is the support talaga ng Filipinos around America, and of course my hometown dito is which is Utica. They have embraced me so much, and ito kasing lugar na tinirahan ko, Miss Corina, is the melting pot of all immigrants, refugees, and alike. So talagang naging advantage siya sa akin because I felt that they also feel they need to be heard. And sinuportahan po ako talaga ng mga Pilipino around America. Nagulat po ako, meron pala silang text brigade na pinapagawa to vote for me. So, laking bagay.
You know what, Anne? You know what I love about Filipinos abroad? They support Filipinos no matter what. I mean, in
Yes.
pageantry, The Voice,
Yes.
anything, sports. They really rally to go behind our kababayan and really support them, especially like Sofronio, his name is so complicated. Sofronio, it's very Italian. It's not Filipino. How he said they rally and they do the text brigade, right?
Yeah,
That's very
yes,
common
yes.
with Filipinos. It's like you vote online or you text as much as possible, and that's how we always win, especially in pageants.
And when you watch the performances of Sofronio on The Voice, you'll hear the crowds. They go crazy. So you know that
Yes.
most of them are Filipinos.
Yep.
Really cheering for Sofronio. Speaking of which, he should be on our
We're-
show.
Listen,
when he gets
we're
here
trying to get
next
him
month.
to perform live, so we're working on it. So if you're watching, Sofronio, please come. We want to hear you sing. And baka Anne will also sing with you.
Let's
She warmed
see.
up this morning.
Yeah, because Direct played some Sharon Cuneta, and Sharon Cuneta, I love her. So you play me some Sharon Cuneta, I'm gonna sing it in every karaoke
Yo, she
party.
really thought she was Sharon Cuneta this morning. It was
Our guest on Zoom actually thought, Sharon Cuneta's gonna be hosting.
I
the
don't
show.
think so, girl. You in the Lulu world, but. Anyway, speaking of our guest.
Yes, that's right. That's what we have up ahead. An important conversation on health matters. The health department continues to intensify its campaign against HIV. And our part in it, getting checked. The doctor is in when we return to talk more about HIV. Don't go away. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back.
Magandang araw, Pilipinas!
Sa bawat issue may iba't ibang anggulo. Sa bawat storya may iba't ibang kwento.
Himayin natin ang bawat sulok at bawat kanto mula sa iba't ibang perspektibo na madaling maintindihan ng karaniwang mamamayan.
Every Saturday na mga may to 11:30 a.m.
Kaya huwag kayong papahuli mga kababayan.
Manatiling may pakialam sa mga isyu sa ating bansa kung kaya samahan niyo kami dito lang sa
Cuatro Cantos!
Hello and welcome to Follow the Money. I'm Rain Musngi. Join us as we explore the tools and insights you need to jumpstart your financial journey. The crypto market climbed over $800 billion. Tech giant Alibaba has announced plans to issue notes. Investors are anticipating a significant downward move for the cryptocurrency. Swift is adding a new chapter to her record-breaking year.
Follow the Money, 10:30 a.m.
Keep it here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Always on top.
At BNC, 12 noon doesn't mean break. But
Good afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Today on Newsfeed at noon, staunch Duterte ally Salvador Panelo believes Vice President Sara Duterte will be impeached. United Nations hailing the ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon's Hezbollah. Australia officially banning children under 16 from social media. And those are the news this hour. Keep it here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Two reasons why. I think the first one is I come from a rice farming background in Ilocos Norte. I have relatives that does rice farming and really saw the complexities that they saw every single day. And second is really my immersion in Singapore. Earlier this year, I went to Singapore and I interned for a startup that helped shrimp farmers manage the risks of disease testing in Vietnam. So having to understand that risks is the biggest, most vulnerable factors that affect farming, I tried to apply that in the Philippines and AgriConnect came to be.
Hello there and welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. The cases of human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV, continue to rise in the Philippines. As estimated by the Health Department, cases will go up to over 200,000 by the end of the year. Now, what is causing this prevalence and what can we do to protect ourselves? Joining us via Zoom, live from Pampanga, internal medicine and adult disease specialist, Dr. Edzel Magtoto. It's a beautiful day, Doc Edzel. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Miss Anne. It's a beautiful morning to everyone. Thank you for having me. Maraming salamat.
Now, Doc, I've seen this report saying that we've seen a rise in reported HIV cases here in the Philippines this year. Now, what do you think is causing this prevalence of HIV among Filipinos?
Very good question. HIV prevalence in the Philippines is estimated to be roughly around 0.3% of the population aging 15 to 49 years old, specifically the age of 25 to 35 years old, having the high-risk behavior that we so-called, sadly, we are one of the highest rates of infection increase in the Western Pacific, having at least, imagine, 58 daily cases of HIV being diagnosed just in the year 2024. So the reasons behind the prevalence in the Philippines are due to a number of factors. We have stigma and discrimination, HIV positive people still having their risky behaviors, 84% of which are men having sex with men. And these are actually very alarming to note.
Now, Doc, let's go back to basics. For our audience who are watching, can you tell us the difference between HIV and AIDS?
All right. HIV and AIDS are two different disease entities. HIV is a virus that actually attacks the immune system, particularly the CD4 count that we call, while AIDS is the most advanced stage of HIV. So HIV destroys the CD4 or the immune system, making the body difficult to fight from infections and illnesses. There's no cure for HIV, but there are effective drug treatments that are readily available now that can help people live a long and healthy life. While on the other hand, AIDS, or acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, is a condition that occurs when the immune system is severely damaged by HIV. So in layman's term, this is the later stage of HIV already. That is why early diagnosis is very, very important.
Doc, now that we have differentiated HIV and AIDS, meron bang symptoms yung HIV?
Yes, you know what? The thing about HIV, the symptoms about HIV is more easily detected in the first early months after a person is infected by HIV. But many are unaware of their status until the later stages. You know what? The first few weeks, when a person is infected by this virus, it just readily seemed like an influenza-like illness or yung flu-like illness na tinatawag. So fever, headache, rash, and sore throat, which are, sometimes akala natin trangkaso lang, no? So when the infection progresses and weakens the immune system, this can cause other signs and symptoms, which are like swollen lymph nodes, mga weight loss, afternoon fever, diarrhea, and chronic cough.
So, Doc, you mentioned status earlier and actually just now. Can you walk us through what's the difference actually between a positive and undetectable status?
Okay, so the only way to find out that the person is infected with HIV is through testing, okay? So there is a screening test, but for you to find out that you are actually reactive from it is through a confirmatory test. A positive HIV antibody only means that the body has been exposed to the HIV virus, and then the body has produced an antibodies in response to this exposure. So we have agencies in the country like San Lazaro Hospital, RIPM in Alabang that caters confirmatory testing. So once the person gets the confirmatory testing, actually nowadays po, once the person is already reactive, that's the time we start the antiretroviral therapy or what we call as ART. Now, on the other hand, for the undetectable naman, which is actually the main goal of WHO and the Center of Disease or the CDC, we have what we call as the undetectable. So U is equals to U. Always remember that. So undetectable meaning untransmittable. This is when a person with HIV, the viral load is already undetectable in the bloodstream. They're considered untransmittable, meaning they cannot pass on the HIV on to others through sex. And this can only be done through a blood test on what we call as viral load count.
And so for those who want to get tested, are there any free sexual health services in public health centers, or do you have to pay for all the tests?
Okay, actually, I am a part of the City Health Office in the local government unit of the City of San Fernando, Pampanga, and we have free sexual health services at healthcare centers. So we have what we call as the social hygiene clinic, wherein we cater not only entertainment workers, but also walk-in residents in San Fernando and other parts of the country where we cater them and have them tested, not only for HIV, but also for other STIs, including hepatitis C virus and HPV virus, even for pap smear, because this is very, very important. I believe that it's not widely known to other people that we have free healthcare services like this because of service quality, personal factors, and of course lack of knowledge. So I want to use this platform, this channel to tell everyone that your nearby barangay health centers all over the country are catering these health services for you guys to find out and to know your status, which is very, very essential.
You know what, Doc, I think this is very important, spreading awareness that we have actually these free testing centers, right, where people can avail of HIV tests for free. Kasi parang pinaka-problema natin talaga, yung affordable healthcare, right? And I know that the Department of Health has certain campaigns, HIV-related campaigns like the Aura Safely, if I'm not mistaken, Safer Philippines, right? And for the sake of our viewers, why don't we tell them about these campaigns? What are their objectives? And what are the steps for avoiding HIV?
All right. You know what? We are very fortunate that we're living in a more accepting and inclusive society now. And we have a lot of non-government organizations that are rallying for HIV and to end stigma and discrimination. That's why I'm telling everyone that we have a lot of centers, not only from the local government units, not only from the health centers, but also non-government organizations such as Love Yourself. Shout out to Dr. Marvin. I was there in the Love Gala of PT Awards back. And we are promoting and advocating free testing and increasing awareness because HIV is still quite alarming, especially in the country. The steps, very easy. You have to remember A, B, C, D, E. This is what the DOH would want us to remember. So A is abstinence. kung kayang pigilan, please do so. Importante to know the status of yourself and your partner. Letter B, be faithful, no? Dapat isang partner lang at dapat you and your partner, you both know your status. Letter C, proper use of condoms, no? Condoms should be correct and consistently being used, especially if you do not know your status. So in the local government unit, we give out condoms because that's one of the best ways to protect yourselves against STI, including HIV and AIDS. Letter D, don't use drugs. No sharing of needles to someone you don't know who might be infected with HIV virus. It's a big no-no for us. And letter E, important that we get educated. So this quick conversation we're having is a way of educating people and to get tested early on.
Doc, napaka-controversial nung nung B, be faithful.
Be faithful.
Especially with all the, mga issues of showbiz coming out this year. But Doc, something stuck when you told us about the undetectable status a while ago when we were talking about it. I have a question though. If you are undetectable, can you safely have sex with other people?
If you are undetectable, can you safely have sex with other people? Okay, very, very good but risky question, But
Okay.
the answer to that is HIV cannot be transmitted already if you are undetectable. So if an HIV positive person, or we call them people living with HIV, is undetectable, hindi mo na matatransmit yun. However, the DOH and us practicing physicians, we still highly recommend everyone to use protection such as condom because there are still other STIs including hepatitis and sexually transmitted diseases like genital warts and HPV that are not being covered by the treatment of HIV. And of course, we have what we call as the PrEP and the PEP that are now new to the market, and these are medications being used to prevent HIV for people who are non-HIV positive.
Doc, you mentioned earlier the PrEP and the PEP. I was like, I love them. They sound really
Prep
cool.
and PEP, yes.
PEP and PrEP. It's a tongue twister. I believe it stands for pre-exposure prophylaxis, correct?
Yes,
Can you
yes.
talk to us more about what that is and how that helps?
Okay, yeah, so the PrEP and the PEP can only be availed for free at treatment hub centers or even for other non-government HIV centers. Okay, so the PrEP stands for, as you've mentioned correctly, pre-exposure prophylaxis. So this is being taken by HIV negative but are at risk for getting it, meaning they have high risky behavior. So PrEP can be taken as a pill daily or an injection every 2 months, and it can reduce the risk of HIV infection and stop HIV from spreading if exposure occurs. Now, PEP naman, on the other hand, is post-exposure prophylaxis. So these are being taken by people who have possibly been exposed to someone with HIV, and it's a 28-day course of medication that must be started 72 hours right after the sexual intercourse. Nako, sa mga batang nanonood, hopefully they have parents who are guiding them, right?
Parental guidance yung topic natin.
Yes.
Rated PG ang topic natin this morning. But Doc, are there other treatments and options available for people living with HIV? And my follow-up question to that is, I know that we have these treatments, pero kailangan ba that there are also lifestyle changes to manage HIV?
Okay, what a wonderful question, Nowadays, people with HIV are very, very lucky enough. Kasi back in the 1980s, they're taking at least 30 pills a day just for their regimen. But nowadays, it's only 1 pill a day, a combination of 3 drugs, or what we call them as antiretroviral therapy, or ART. So this medicines, you take them daily, and they reduce the amount of HIV in the body. And the main goal nga is to make the viral load undetectable level. But of course, like any other medications, meron din side effects yan. No? Some of the side effects are like central adiposity, lumalaki ang tiyan at pumapayat ang extremities. Of course, sinatamaan din ng kidneys. That's why some patients suffer from kidney failure and end up going on dialysis. And of course, increase in cholesterol levels or lipid profiles kaya nagkakaroon ng mga heart diseases or heart attacks ang mga patient with HIV because of these medications. So lifestyle, very important. Like us, normal people, they need to be very wary and cautious with their life, avoid intake of alcohol, proper sleep, and avoiding stress. Because sabi nga nila, if you have stress levels, bumababa yung CD4 level nila. And they need the CD4 for them to be normal and to be to do their daily functions like a normal person also.
So I'm just so curious, Doc, have there been any significant medical developments that we've achieved lately in managing this virus?
Yes, one myth na malayo na tayo from reality is that HIV before is considered to be a death sentence,
Right.
and that HIV and AIDS are of the same thing. But now we are living in a more advanced world where science and technology set in already, and we have advanced pills already. They just take it one day at a time for them to be at their normal state and do their normal functions. Right now, the FDA in the United States are now working on towards injectable drugs and injectable prophylaxis so that they will only visit their specialists, infectious doctors, or IM like me, at least 3 times a year. Imagine that. So hindi na sila mag-worry masyado sa kanilang mga status. All they need to do is to religiously take their medications, and they're good to go. They're good to function like a normal person.
Doc, before we let you go, I wanted to know, what is your usual advice for someone who's hesitant to take an HIV test? Because, I know that we know that it's a treatable condition now, right? But the stigma is still there, diba? So some people are hesitant to take that HIV test. What is your usual advice?
Okay, one word, love yourself. Always remember to love yourself. So very important to know your status, because HIV and AIDS nowadays is very manageable. You can live like a normal person, and based on statistics, kayang umabot 60 to 70 years and more, just like the life expectancy of a normal person. There are combination therapy that are readily available in the market. They're not hard to take in, one day at a time. It's like taking a vitamins. And of course, the stigma and discrimination, that's why we have NGOs right now readily available. We have psychologists who are part of those NGOs para tulungan sila to accept reality that they have been infected with HIV and AIDS. And nowadays, it's the HIV that's stopping people from getting to know their status. But I'm telling you, everyone, it's manageable. All you need to do is to get yourselves tested early on, at kayang-kaya nating labanan, or sabi nga nila, puksain ang HIV.
Well, dakal salamat, Doc
Yes.
Edzel Magtoto, my kababayan from San Fernando. Thank you so
Thank you
much for
very
shedding
much.
such a positive light on such a
Thank you very
negative
much.
stigma, so at least our viewers will learn more, and at least they're not as scared to tackle HIV and AIDS.
Thank you for having me, and Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, Doc!
Thank you, thank you.
That was such an informative conversation.
Yeah, I know. I learned a lot. Because
Yeah.
normally when you think of HIV and AIDS, it's like an end-all,
Yes.
be-all, right?
Yes,
Like Freddie
yes.
Mercury, like a bunch of famous people. When you have it, you're gonna die.
And the stigma is there.
Yeah.
Like even if we know that it's already treatable, there's medication and everything, people are still scared.
Right, but I
Yeah.
love that Doc said, like, my favorite word, I think, throughout the whole interview was it's manageable.
It is,
Right, people are
yes.
living longer, and he also mentioned, like, especially with the campaign that Pia Wurtzbach does, the love yourself, right?
Yes, yes.
So if you think you have it and you have those symptoms, go get tested, because no one's judging you. We're living in a more acceptable
Yeah.
world. So just do it. You need to live,
And the
guys.
Department of Health, they have
Yeah.
these free testing
Have
centers
all the resources.
that you can check out, right? If that is a problem, if financial problems are stopping you from getting
Right.
tested, then we have these free testing centers, these campaigns. Like I love their Aura Safely campaign.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. So there, we've got more stories for you guys later, right, Mo?
Yes, because we will be taking a look at the new polymer banknotes from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. It's a beautiful day. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
This is The Scorecard,
Where you score the latest sports news.
and in-depth views. I'm Anton Rojas.
I'm Erica Christensen.
Get ready. Be prepared. Get to the latest stories, updates, and reports about what's happening in the world of sports. Hosted by Anton Rojas, Erica Christensen.
Where sports is our business and business is our sport.
The Scorecard, 9:30 p.m. on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Pagdiwang at pag-alay. To lift up while remaining grounded in a sensual and vigorous grace. And to do all this while swept away by the pounding, all-enveloping music. More than just performances, these are traditions that are alive with Dayaw, our knowledge, our pride.
Your newest source of news and information.
That's it?
Follows you everywhere, every day.
Wow.
Oh, man.
On cable and free TV. Online.
He joins us from the Batasang Komersyal.
On mobile.
Simulan na natin ang agenda. No privacy.
This is BNC, and we are everywhere.
Oh my goodness.
Hello, and welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Now let's talk some serious news real quick because more headaches for Guo Huaping, better known as former Bamban-Tarlac Mayor Alice Guo. Guo is facing charges of falsification and violations under the anti-dummy law along with her parents and siblings. The NBI is also seeking to file a forfeiture case over the Guo family's properties. The former mayor is facing several charges, including money laundering, human trafficking, and tax evasion over her involvement with Pogos.
Chinese law, we were able to establish that they are not Filipinos, that they were in fact indeed Chinese. At pinalalabas nila because there are some privileges for Filipino corporations or Filipino incorporators.
The Labor and Employment Department reminds all private sector employers to give employees their 13th month pay before the December 24 deadline. This is in accordance with Presidential Decree number 851, requiring all companies to comply regardless of their size and financial condition. All rank-and-file employees who worked for at least 1 month are eligible, with exception to those in government, in managerial positions, and freelancers.
It's mandated so that everybody can be benefited by the provision of that particular law. It's a social legislation intended to alleviate the conditions of workers, particularly the rank-and-file workers. It's intended to tide them over, especially during the Christmas season, where there are additional expenses to take care of.
In other news, the Department of Agriculture will investigate middlemen as rice prices remain high. As Bea de la Cruz reports, the DA also plans to provide permits for rice millers to sell rice directly to consumers.
If millers sell rice low but prices at the market remain high, who profited? The Agriculture Department, Bureau of Customs, and lawmakers met with millers to find out why rice is still expensive.
Bigay mo, pero pagdating naman sa palengke, nasa 50, 55. Saan ang problema? Are you telling me? And I don't know kung mag-agree yung mga kasama mo. Ang problema sa retailer? Retailer po ba ang pumapatong ng malaki? Wala na po bang middleman? Retailer galing po sa bodega nyo?
All millers in Bulacan have agreed to sell their rice at the same price.
Pagdating naman po dun sa presyo ng bigas, kami rin po ay hindi ko po alam kung ano po ang costing ng mga retailer, kung bakit sila mataas mag-retail.
The DA asked millers to submit a list of their retailers or wholesalers to know how rice prices are being manipulated and who should be held responsible. They will also give permits to millers so they can sell directly to consumers instead of having to go through middlemen.
Kung pwede mahingi namin na listahan kung sino mga bumibili sa inyo na wholesaler o retailer. Kasi sa mga sinasabi nyo, sila ngayon ang kailangan namin bisitahin at kausapin. Kung na gusto nyo magbenta ng direct sa market, palengke, pwede yun natin gawin yun.
With tariffs for imported rice lowered by 15%, Agriculture Secretary Francisco Laurel says rice prices should go down to 39 pesos per kilo next year. Still way above President Marcos's 25 peso per kilo promise during the campaign, but way lower than the current 60 to 70 pesos per kilo. Bea de la Cruz, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas gives a first look at its new polymer banknote. The new banknotes feature animals like the Visayan leopard cat, Palawan peacock, and the Visayan spotted deer. It will also showcase orchids that are endemic to some parts of the country. The BSP will roll out the new polymer banknote series next year.
Oh,
I can't wait to get my hands on those. Y'all know I love animals. They're going to be part of my presentation next year, the new banknotes. I'm going to do my top 5 favorite banknotes. But the one they rolled out this year? The Palawan pearl shell.
Yes.
For the 1,000 peso. That's so beautiful.
So pretty. You don't
want
to use it. You just want to put it in your wallet and keep it there.
I actually don't fold it. I'm so nervous.
Didn't they said no, don't fold down?
You can fold it, I think, once. Like half long.
Okay,
but then
okay.
I think after that, they won't accept it
You don't want to
anymore.
fold it because you just want it to, you don't want to spend it.
I keep it in an envelope.
Yeah, they're like
Actually,
stationary. You just want to
right?
collect them.
And I framed one, actually. I framed one because it's so pretty.
You framed?
I did. I'm going to frame the new ones too. That's why I can't wait to get my hands off on them.
Well, I can't get my I can't wait to get my hands on money this Christmas season. Speaking of Christmas, there is a Santa Claus in Brazil that's turning heads for his transportation of choice. Find out what the good old merrymaker swapped his trusty sleigh with after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. There will be no ceasefire between government and rebel forces for Christmas. Defense Secretary Gebot Teodoro says, quote, any ceasefire with the CPP-NPA is a ceasefire against terrorists and criminals. He even called them a group of Jurassic attention seekers. The NPA says they cannot go on a ceasefire if the government continues its military operations in the province.
Moving on to entertainment, Sean Diddy Combs appeared in a New York federal courtroom on Wednesday in a pre-trial hearing in his sex trafficking case. The rap mogul pleaded not guilty on September 17 to charges that he used his business empire, including his record label Bad Boy Entertainment, to sexually abuse women. Prosecutors said the abuse included having women take part in recorded sexual performances called freak-offs with male sex workers who were sometimes transported across state lines. The 55-year-old Combs denied wrongdoing, and his lawyers have said the sexual activity described by prosecutors was consensual.
Now, on to some lighter news. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex give a rare glimpse of their children. Harry and Meghan have released their official Christmas card this year, and it features a collage of images, including a casual family photo with Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. Their faces, though, were hidden from the camera. Harry and Meghan are known for fiercely guarding the privacy of their children.
And before we go, Santa Claus swaps his trusty sleigh for a jet ski to deliver gifts to children in Brazil. The holiday gesture was led by nonprofit organization Heroes of Love. The presents were given to dozens of children who are suffering from cerebral palsy, autism, and other syndromes.
So cute.
That is so cute.
You know,
Santa on a jet ski.
Right? Like, I think it's great that everywhere around the world, they
have their own version of Santa.
Yeah, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think here in the Philippines, because, I mean, I don't think it snows in Brazil.
It
like,
does
it doesn't snow
not.
here, too. So, I mean,
That's why
it's very fitting.
Santa Claus adapted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's in a jet ski. So, you know what? I'm not going to be surprised if we see here in the Philippines either Santa Claus on a tricycle or on
Jeep.
a jeepney.
Yeah, jeepney. Yeah, a jeepney
Actually,
Santa
that'd
Claus.
be so
That is a good
cute.
idea.
Right?
Like going around the barangay, Santa Claus nakasakay sa jeep, and then giving away Christmas presents.
Not parang mas better the motorcycle, the one without the cover.
Yeah, city mayors, city mayors, you got that from this show. You got that idea from this show.
We should totally do like a non-prof next year and try to do something like this. Because I think it's such a sweet gesture that they do. Oh, look how happy the kids look.
And I hope there's also like a Santa Claus version for animals. Like going around feeding the strays.
Yeah, the Santa
right?
Claus. A lot of non-profit orgs
They do
it.
that?
Yes.
Yeah,
so
they
follow them. There's a
should.
couple. I know there's like Paws and Passion as well because I'm
So going
such
around,
an
because
advocate.
just to spread the Christmas spirit, not just for humans, but for animals as well.
Yeah, so if you
right?
guys
Yeah.
have some money to spare, please, if you guys see the stray animals, please feed them and just give them some love and attention this Christmas season. They're so sweet and they're so kawawa. Actually, if somebody's watching, one of our viewers who wants to gift me a lot for Christmas, that's my dream. I'm going to adopt all the stray dogs and cats here in the Philippines and I'm going to have a sanctuary.
Because I think that's the only problem, that we have. We try to adopt all these strays, but there's just not enough
No
space in our
room.
houses, right? So maybe that's going to be our Christmas list for next year.
Yep.
Perhaps?
A house and lot
Yeah.
for my doggies and my cats.
Speaking of Christmas, ilang days na lang ba?
Oh my
Before Christmas,
gosh.
let's check it out. 6
6
days, Mo,
days.
and we haven't gone shopping
I
yet.
think we're gonna go later
This is
after
crazy.
the show a little bit. We're gonna do a couple of shopping today. My God. Oh, it's next week.
I know.
That's
Can you guys
crazy.
feel it already? Diba?
Nafe-feel niyo ba?
Can you
Kayo?
guys feel it, people?
Yes.
Here, cameraman.
Our camera guys say they do feel it.
You know what? We should bring food just to, make the morning festive.
We are. Next week, we're gonna bring food.
next week. Oh, don't be
Sama ng
absent,
tingin
guys.
nyo.
ah.
They're like, you guys always say you're gonna bring food, but there's never food.
Tapos, there are gonna be viewers like, uy, they're gonna bring food now, and then they're gonna go to the studio and visit us.
Go! Promise, next week, dadala kami ng Christmas food.
And that is it for us this Thursday, December 19. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember to choose joy, spread kindness, and bring your own sunshine.
And I'm Monique Tuzon. Y'all stay safe and have a great Thursday ahead. Don't forget to join us again tomorrow at 7 a.m. only here on
It's a Beautiful Day!